Hi Year 6 and welcome to your WBD Maths lesson. There's lots of different questions to answer in today's lesson. You can pick and choose what questions you answer. I would like you to answer 10 of the questions, so you choose which ones you can answer. If you want to challenge yourself and answer all of them, then that's fine. What I'd like you to do is I'll read the question and then you can pause the video or you can listen as we talk through the answer. It's up to you. So let's have a look at the first question. If the secret 7 and the famous 5 all went to buy new school shoes, how many school shoes would they need? So let's think. Secret 7 is 7 people and the famous 5 is 5 people. How many shoes do they have each? And what is the total? Let's have a look. 14 shoes because they've got 2 feet each, and 10 shoes. Add them together, 24. Miss Wallace and Mr. Kerman are both reading books. Miss Wallace's book has 350 pages. Mr. Kerman's has 225. How many pages will they read altogether? So altogether tells us that this is an addition question. Pause now and then unpause for the answer. So 350 add 225 equals 575. Harry Potter travels to Hogwarts from platform 9 3/4. This is all about equivalent fractions. Which of these is not equivalent to 3/4? So if we're finding equivalence, we want to turn all our fractions into quarters. So we need to find out what we divide it by. So 12 24ths, we divide it by 6 and we get 4, so we get quarters. So we need to do the same to the top. 12 divided by 6 is 2, which equals a half. Can we do the rest? Pause now, answer, and then unpause to find out. So 9/12, we divide that by 3, so we divide this by 3. It's 3/4. 40ths, we divide by 10, so we divide the top by 10. We divide by 6, so we divide the top by 6. So the answer is 12 24ths. That equals a half, not 3/4. Question 4. How would you write 9 3/4 as an improper fraction? Can you draw it as a bar model? So here's an example of a bar model. We've got 9 whole ones and each whole one is made into 4. We know that because it's quarters. So here's our bar model. So one whole one would be 1, 2, 3, 4. And we need 9 of those. So our first calculation would be 9 times 4 equals 36. And then if we look here, we've done a whole one, so we've got 3 extra. So we need to add 3. So the answer is 39/4. Can you draw it as a bar model? Pause now, have a go, and then come back for the answer. So your bar model should have looked like this. Oh. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 whole ones, and then the last one has only got 3 shaded because it's only 3/4. Paddington was born in 1956 and he has 2 birthdays a year, 25th of December and 25th of June. How old is he today? So the first thing you need to do is work out how many years between 1956 and now. And then he has 2 birthdays a year, so there's another calculation to do. And then we've got a final step. Pause now and then unpause for the answer. So between 1956 and now, we've got 65 years. He has 2 birthdays a year, so we need to times this by 2. 65 times 2 equals 130. He has 130 birthdays a year. But this year we haven't got as far as June, so we need to take a birthday away. So we need to do 130 minus 1. So Paddington Bear is 129. Let's move on to the next slide. We're going to read this and what fraction of the words are adjectives. Remember, adjectives are describing words. A person who has good thoughts cannot ever be ugly. If you have good thoughts, then they will shine out of your face like sunbeams and you will always look lovely. So we've got 1, 2, 3 adjectives. How many words have we got in total? And how would we write that as a fraction? Pause and then come back for the answer. So if we count the words, we've got 30 words in total. So as a fraction, we would write that we've got 3 adjectives out of 30. So 3 out of 30. And we can simplify that and it would give us 1/10. How did you do? 85 Mr. Men and Little Miss, and they're split into 5 classes at Hucklow. How many would be in each? So they're split into 5 classes, so we're sharing the Mr. Men and the Little Miss. So when we're sharing something, it becomes a division question. So we need to do 85 divided by 5. What answer do you get? You should get 17. So there are 17 classes. If Willy Wonka makes 50 bars of chocolate in a day, how many bars would he make in a week, a month, a year? So here we have how many days in a week, a month, a year. And we've got these facts that can help us. So let's do the first one together. There are 7 days in a week. So we've got 50 in one day. And we need to do that 7 times. Now we know that 5 times 7 is 35. So we know that 50 times 7 is 350 because we do 5 times 7 is 35, which we know. And then we've got a 0 here, so we know we need to times our answer by 10. So it's 350. Pause now, do the others, and then come back. If you want to challenge yourself, find out how many bars it would make in February, or a month with 30 or 31 days, or even a leap year. What can you do? Okay, let's look at the answers. So the next one, I've just done 1 month of 30 days. So 50 times 30, 5 times 3 is 15. We're timesing it by 10 and then 10 again. And the last one, 365 times 50, which equals 18,250 bars of chocolate. Red Riding Hood bakes 60 cupcakes and the wolf steals half of them. How many are left? So we need to do half of 68 first. And then how many do they get if they share them equally? So what's the answer? If they've got half and then they share them again between 2. Pause and then unpause for the answer. Half of 68 is 34. 34 shared between 2 is 17. You could have done that counting in 2s, or you could do a quick little bit of bus stop method. If the 13-storey treehouse finishes up as a 130-storey treehouse, how many new stories have been built? Let's use our place value grid to answer this. So we've wrote 13 in, and we've got 130. Now we can look from 13 to 130. We're just moving it one place up the place value grid, which tells us that we are timesing it by 10. So there are 10 new stories that have been built. The tree in the magic faraway tree grows an average of 8 centimetres a day. How many centimetres does it grow in 12 days? So in one day, it grows to 8 centimetres. We want to know 12 days. So we need to 12 one day by 12. So what do we need to do to this side? Pause the video and then unpause for the answer. That's correct, Year 6. We do exactly the same. So the calculation we need to do is 8 times 12. You got it. It's 96 centimetres. If Rapunzel's hair was 238 centimetres long and the witch chopped off 105, how much is left? Try and visualise it in your head. What's happening? Are we adding? Are we taking away? Pause the video and then unpause for the answer. That's right, Year 6. It's a takeaway. And the answer is 133 centimetres. Let's have a look at this one. The school cook used 500 grams of chocolate to make a cake for Bruce Bogtrotter. She used 3 times as much butter and 4 times as much flour. So we know we've got 500. What do we need to times them by? So we've got 3 times as much and 4 times as much. Pause the video and unpause for the answers. So let's have a look. 500, and this is for the butter, we're timesing it by 3. So 5 times 3 is 15. And we know we've timesed it by 100, so it's 1500 grams. And we can put that into kilograms, 1.5 kilograms. The flour, we're timesing by 4. So the answer is 5 times 4 is 20, timesing it by 100, so we've got 2000 grams. In kilograms, we've got 2 kilograms. Did you simplify it into kilograms, or did you just give the answer in grams? The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. The wardrobe is 4 to 5 centimetres deep and 3 times as tall. How tall is it? The calculation you should have done is 45 times 3, which equals 135. Let's have a look at the next question. 1 hour in England is 5 hours in Narnia time. How many hours in a Narnia day? So we know that 1 hour in England is 5 hours in Narnia. So look what we've done. We've times it by 24. Have a think about what you need to do to the 5 hours. Pause and unpause for the answer. So that's right. You need to times 5 by 24. So if we do 24 times 5, that will give us 120 hours in a Narnia day. Next question. Around the world in 80 days. How far would he have travelled as a fraction in 20 days? So if we were to write this as a fraction, we'd have 20 days out of 80, and it would look like this. Now we need to simplify it. So by looking at both these numbers, they end in 0, so I know I can divide them both by 10, which would give me 2 eighths. And looking at these two numbers, they're still both even, so I can simplify them even more. What's my final answer? Pause and unpause so you can check. The final answer would be 1/4. If the Hodwalks Express can hold 24 children in each carriage, how many children are there in 17 carriages? Think about what kind of question this is. An add, a takeaway, a multiply or a divide. Try and visualise it in your head. I'm imagining lots of train carriages. In each one we've got 24. So we've got 24 and 24 and 24 and 24. We could add, but adding 24 17 times would take ages. So what else could we do? So we've got 17 carriages and lots of 24. Remember lots of? What calculation is that? Pause, answer your question and then come back for the answer. So year 6, you guessed it right. It's a multiplication question. 24 children in each carriage, so we've got 17 lots of 24. So your answer should look something like this. And the final answer is 408 children. And this is your final question for today, year 6. If the firework maker makes 50 boxes of fireworks each with 7 fireworks inside, how many fireworks has he made altogether? Again, try and visualise it and see what kind of calculation it is. Pause and then unpause for the answer. And the answer is 350. Could use your smile multiplication here. So 5 times 7, let me get the pen so you can see where it says smile. So we do 5 times 7 is 35. And then we've got a 0 which tells us it's timesed by 10. So we can times it by 10 here. 350 fireworks. That's the end of our maths lesson for today, year 6. Hope you've enjoyed it. And join me for the next part of World Book Day where we are getting creative. See you later.